Row 18, plot 20.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Hey everybody, welcome to the JLA member channel. I just rewatched Justice League The Flashpoint Paradox to kind of, I'm very amped up for the live action DC Entertainment Universe Flash movie that's coming out soon. So I thought I would rewatch the Flashpoint Paradox animated DC film from 2013. I can't believe it's been 10 years. To kind of like fill in some memory gaps of story. And this has an 8.1 star rating. This is a very, very loved animated movie from the comic series. It's a very, very good animated adaptation from the comics, and it has a stellar voice cast. So, if you're not familiar for some reason with the Flashpoint story, the Flash finds himself in a war-torn alternate timeline and teams up with alternate versions of his fellow heroes to return home and restore the timeline. Directed by Jay Olivia, written by James Craig, Jeff Johns, and Andy Kubert. And I'll just sit down and grab a Coke or something because the cast is huge. Justin Chambers is the voice of the Flash. C. Thomas Howell is Professor Zoom, very pivotal character. Michael B. Jordan was Cyborg. Batman was voiced by Kevin McKidd. D. Bradley Baker, Etrigan. Steve Blum, Lex Luthor. Sam Daly played Superman, who in the past has been played by Tim Daly. I believe they are related. Kevin Conroy, the iconic Kevin Conroy, was Batman. Dana Delaney, Lois Lane. Carrie Ewells, Aquaman. Nathan Fillion, Green Lantern. Let me see. Wonder Woman, Vanessa Marshall. And yeah, there's even still a ton more characters to list. So again, my intention for watching this was to kind of like fill in some memory gaps of the Flashpoint, or just just to kind of perpetuate my nerdness. But from everything I'm seeing and reading about the live action Flash movie, I think this is not going to be, um, close. This is not a live action adaptation other than just the basic premise of the Flash going back in time. So this animated movie, if you haven't seen it, it's really good. And as you just heard me read off the number of characters, it's like the entire DC universe, just in this very different timeline. I don't think I'm spoiling things. If you see the Batman is Thomas Wayne, it's the dad, and he was the one that survived when Joe Chill stopped them, the family, in the alleyway there, and Bruce was the one that was killed. So like that's like the major takeaway that's created these iconic, the Flashpoint Batman and the Joker, is actually Martha Wayne, Bruce Wayne's mother. She loses it and turns into this Joker character. Thomas Wayne turns into this very brutal version of Batman and does kill. So the one thing that I had forgotten about this movie was the whole base storyline for this alternate timeline is this war between Wonder Woman and Aquaman. There's like a whole plot thread there that I'm not going to spoil in case for some reason you haven't seen this. But these two are like definitely going at it, and it spills over into the rest of the world, and all these different versions of characters are so fun. Like this was as obviously an Elseworld story. I would love to see a true live action, but boy, it would be so hard because of the number of characters. So for this upcoming live action Flash movie, I totally get why they had to kind of dial back a little bit with the number of characters. And then, when this was first being done so long ago, like this live action Flash movie has been being worked on for so long and have had so many different setbacks. Um, this was supposed to squeeze into the Zack Snyder verse. So the concept that was original for the live action kind of was, shoehorned into that Snyderverse, and that's why certain characters were eliminated and others were able to stay. There's definitely been some awesome fan casting with Jeffrey Dean Morgan as that Flashpoint Thomas Wayne Batman, and I can't remember her name, but she was also on The Walking Dead to play Martha Wayne. They played the parents in one of the movies in the Snyderverse movies. So it would have been a real cool nod to see them come back. I think that was an unfortunate miss. But who knows? Who knows with the new direction? Maybe that'll still happen sometime in the future. So it's a fun movie to watch. If you haven't seen this, again, it's deep in characters. It's very well adapted from the comic book series, and it's all out balls to the wall war between everybody. So there's a good amount of action and violence. The only thing that I really did not like about this movie is the animation, particularly of the faces. I just did not enjoy the way the certain angles of faces were drawn, and real chunky cheekbones, and just like noses that disappear and just become like a singular curved line. Just the art style for the faces was inconsistent and, in my opinion, bad. But otherwise, this is such a good adaptation, well deserving of that super high IMDb score. And yeah, if you haven't seen the Justice League Flashpoint Paradox, I highly recommend it. And if you have seen it and or are anticipating a great live action Flash movie, let me know in the comments down below. And thanks for tuning into the channel.
So have your dream. Go on and sing your song. There's nothing wrong with singing out of tune. If people laugh and say your dream can never be, just think of me.